Welcome everybody. Welcome to the Jupiter Robotics YouTube channel and the first ever Jupiter Robotics live stream. Thank you so much for tuning in. And today we've got a really special live stream for you. Today we will be joined by our sponsor, Polymaker. Extra fun stuff, and we're going to be talking about Polymaker filament and combat robotics. The great combination. So let's get this graphic off. Here I am. All right, now you can see me. So, to everybody watching, leave a comment in the live chat. And soon, I will have the one and only Polymaker joining. How many people we got watching? Leave a comment in the live chat. Let me know you're here. And in just a little bit, we will have a professional from none other than Polymaker joining us. I am quite excited. We're going to be talking filament, robots, how we will use Polymaker filament for combat robots. Extra fun stuff. Now we got a little text here at the bottom of your screen stating we are sponsored by Polymaker. Fun, fun, fun. All right. I'm going to wait just a few minutes, let more people join. All right. Thank you all for tuning in. This is the first ever live stream we have done on the Jupiter Robotics YouTube channel. How cool is that? So to everybody watching, thank you so much for tuning in. You are witnessing live the first ever YouTube live stream on our channel. I will be joined by Polymaker. Oh, looky what I can do. I see that comment. All right. So, from Polymaker, we will have 3D printing expert Joel joining us. He said he's going to be just a little bit late to the stream, but that is okay. He will be here as soon as he can be. All right. So recently, let's say about a few weeks ago, Jupiter Robotics had reached out to the company Polymaker, who makes these 3D printing filaments. They make some awesome filaments. Shout out to Polymaker. All right. So anyway, we reached out about sponsorship and got a response very quickly. And they're willing to provide us with all the filament we could need for our combat robots. All right, let's see how many people we got. All right, we got a nice little crowd joining us. Oops. All right. This is going to be a fun stream. I've got a couple of questions I would like to ask Joel once he shows up. Now, for anybody not familiar, we had a big event at the end of last year, November. What was the date? I don't know, sometime early November, we had Robot Ruckus at Maker Faire Orlando, and Polymaker was actually sponsoring the event. So there was a familiar logo on site, and I've got a cool picture I would like to share with you while we wait. Actually, I've got a couple of photos I'd like to share. So check that out. Our robot Space Junk beating up on another robot in the Polymaker arena. How cool is that? That is one of my favorite photos of all time out of all of our fights. That was a perfectly timed photo right there. Now let me see if I can add another photo. Let's see, where did it go? There it is. So that is just a perfectly timed photo of Space Junk flipping over another one of its opponents at the Orlando Maker Faire. Oh, that is an awesome picture right there. That was perfectly timed because I flipped them pretty quick. So yeah, let me know what you think about that picture. And that one. That's a really good one. All right, I'm going to take those pictures off of there now. But yeah, I just wanted to share a couple of really cool photos with you. So Polymaker sponsored the Orlando Maker Faire, and I believe they did provide some of the prizes, if I do remember correctly. And we could talk to Joel about that when he joins. I'm going to write a complaint because he's late. I ain't doing that. All right. Leave a comment in the live chat if you're watching. If I unmute myself, you could hear me better. All right, let's see if I can find another photo here. Oh, this one. This one. Hurry up. There we go. So that's a close-up on Space Junk and another one of our opponents that we have fought at the Orlando Maker Faire. Roughhouse Robotics, I see your comment. Yeah, I definitely appreciate the attention to detail that some of our fans have. Can I just be biased and say that robot looks awesome? Yeah, that people tell me all the time, oh, you got an awesome looking cosmetic robot. Like, yeah, it's pretty cool. I had a friend of ours actually made the decals for it, and they turned out better than even I had expected myself. I got to be honest. So those are actually vinyl decals. I'll show you the picture again. There we go. So that's actually not at all paint. That's vinyl decals. I do not have the nerve or patience to try to paint that. Yeah, and I'm really big when it comes to cosmetics. I'm really big on that, and I'm always like, if the robot is working, I don't care if it's full potential, as long as it looks cool. That's a priority. As long as the robot works, make sure it looks cool. I'm probably the only robot builder that says that. That's probably why I haven't won a trophy. But that's okay. We will get there sooner or later. So yeah, that is another really cool picture of Space Junk fighting in the Polymaker arena. All right, and speaking of Polymaker, he has arrived. The guy who definitely does not sleep behind his computer while working. Also our special guest, straight out of Polymaker. Joel, why don't you introduce yourself?
Hello, hello. I am Joel from Polymaker. I'm the community manager for all partnerships, sponsorships, etc., etc. And I think you nailed it right on the head. It's the guy who definitely does not sleep behind the scenes when the camera's off and the mic's muted.
Yeah, I figured you would like that joke.
Oh yeah,
actually,
no, it's a good internal joke and a community joke, and not quite a joke. So it's definitely a fun one.
Oh, don't worry, your secret is safe with me, and I won't tell anybody that you do that. I kind of said it already, but
yeah.
Yeah, I figured you'd like that joke. I actually just heard. I went back and rewatching some of your live streams on the Polymaker channel. And for everybody watching, go check out the Polymaker YouTube channel, because this guy does some really cool live streams on there.
Have some
But
fun product announcements, kind of a fun stream on Tuesdays and then a more structured stream on Thursdays. But I've been doing it for over a year now. I can't even remember how many episodes I've done, but I think we're in 60s or 70 consecutive weeks of having the Meet the Polymaker show without missing one. So now at this point, it's to the point that I can't miss one, because when I do, it's detrimental to my my mental health.
Yeah, I actually got that joke from one of your live streams from, I think it was about a month ago. I happened to go back, and I reached out to you the other day, and I was asking if you would be willing to do this with me, and I thought, well, this might be a long shot, but it'd be fun.
No.
And then when you responded, I didn't know you did your own live streams until you said that. When you responded, I was like, oh, he does his own live streams. So I looked it up. I went back rewatching some of your old live streams on the Polymaker channel.
I'm pretty comfortable being on the camera now, so talking with people. I've like I said, done it once or twice, so I'm kind of warmed up over the last year and a half. So I appreciate the invite coming on for sure.
Yeah, definitely. I've done this once or twice before. I've been on camera once or twice as well. As far as being comfortable with being on camera, that makes for one of us.
It's never perfect, but I roll with it. The plus side is we only take ourselves as serious as we need to. But past that, we like to jab at ourselves, and I always say with my streams that it's live. It is what it is. If I fumble over my words, which I do every single episode, even this far into it, it's you just roll with it. You just have fun with it, and the community gets something. They either get something they get to watch and be inspired by, or they get ammo to pick on you in Discord or in real life, the Rep Rep event. So
yeah, understandable. Well, thank you for joining us.
Oh, absolutely.
This is going to be a fun first stream. Yeah, we never actually. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, I always hate that delay. But no, I was just saying, I appreciate the invite, and especially too is been working with robotics teams for since August, and that we have so many, so it's nice to actually put a face behind who I'm talking to, and then who we're helping out, and I've been fortunate to go to a couple events. Still need to definitely hit some more, because I haven't seen all of them. There's FTC, FRC, VexU, RoboMasters, etc. So I'm still learning which ones are which at this point.
Yeah, I could never learn that kind of stuff outside of the combat robotics. I got to be honest. I'm not a robotics person. I never care for anything with the word robotics in it until I started watching the TV show BattleBots.
Yep.
And at first, I started watching in 2018. Started watching season 3 when it was airing, and I thought it was just on TV. And then about a year later, I find out about Maker Faire Orlando. And so that was my first event. And a lot of combat robotics builders in the state of Florida will tell you they got their start at that event. They visited that event for the first time. And so it's not just me.
The Robot Ruckus, right?
Yes, Robot Ruckus. And I was actually just talking about a familiar logo was there. Happened to make an appearance once or twice.
On a few screens on one of the arenas, the Plastic Ant Beetle Weight arena. Yeah, they were actually very fun to work with, and that was the very first robotics battle or competition that I've been to last year, and it was also my first time going to a Maker Faire. So I've been to Rep Rap events and different events, but I've just never been to a Maker Faire, and I look forward to coming back this year for sure.
Yeah, it's always a lot of fun every year, and last year, there was a Polymaker arena. They had plastic ants, which was very appropriate to have 3D printed robots fighting in that arena.
Absolutely, yep.
And then they also had full combat ant weight. They had a couple of full combat ant weight classes. One of them was called Ant Weight Gladiators. And for the record, a U.S. ant weight combat robot weighs 1 pound.
Yep.
And so the 1 pound full combat that they had in that arena was called Ant Weight Gladiators. So basically, it was dedicated to a specific kit, which happens to be the same kit that Space Junk is. That's my 1 pounder, my team's 1 pounder, and it was dedicated to that kit and sportsman robots, basically robots that don't have a weapon. So it was a lot of fun. I can actually show this. There's a really cool picture of Space Junk flipping its opponent in that arena.
Very nice. I recognize
Yeah,
that arena.
yeah, you probably recognize that logo.
Yeah, I've seen it somewhere before. I've heard they're pretty decent company.
Yeah, it kind of looks familiar. Wonder where I've seen that.
And when I seen those for the first time, so that of course is the first arena when I walked into the center of the building where they're at. Of course, it's the first one I seen, and the first one I stayed around and watched. And the first time that the weapons went around on the standard battle, or I guess the plastic gateway, it was just like, oh wow, those things sound dangerous. It's like
Oh yeah,
wicked just hearing, especially when
yeah,
it's this big, and just to hear that thing just wind up and like, okay,
yeah,
that's ready to do some damage. And yeah, when they hit, there's there's pieces flying for sure.
yeah. And what's crazy is you tell people that are like new to combat robotics, you tell them that there's a weight class where the robots are limited to only weighing no more than 1 pound.
Yep.
And yeah, it is a little bit shocking, but then I love seeing people's faces when you tell them that, and then you tell them, well, there's a weight class lower, 1 pound's nothing. So I have another robot here that actually weighs a third of a pound. The weight limit is 150 grams. Look, this thing fits in my hand.
Yeah. Just thin as can be. And the
Yeah,
thing too is when even at the 1 pound weight range is, that's where you have to be limited, whether there's weapons or
yeah,
not. Of course, the components that to run that, but then also the build. Like, you want to build strong so you stay solid, but at the same time you start increasing those parameters, the infill, everything else. Then you start
yeah,
adding weight, and then it's like, okay, well, what are we going to reduce if we're going to increase the walls or things like that? So yeah, it's a
yeah.
science that people have got down, and I was very very impressed with all the teams there. They let me back into
Yeah.
the pit area,
Oh,
Robot Ruckus.
really?
Yep, so then we walk
Oh,
around and
man.
talk to people and everything, and I mean, everybody had a story. Everything was cool. Whether it
Yeah.
was adults doing it, teenagers doing it. There was one family that was doing it, and can't remember. Actually, it was Ruckus Robots as his was their team name.
Yeah.
I think it was the son was can't remember his age, between 10 and 12. He was pretty
Right.
young, and he had actually
Yeah.
designed his own model and everything for the that he had
Yeah.
there printed ready to battle. I don't know how he
Yeah.
ended up doing in the end, but it was cool talking to people and just seeing what they put
Yeah.
into it, and then just how much there is, to it. It's not just a download the model, print it, and it's done. There's a bit of science behind
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. A lot of physics involved as well. And
it.
the Ruckus Robotics team, there's a couple of amazing kids on that team. They're really good at what they do. They got 1 pound robots, they got 3 pound robots, a handful of robots. They got more robots than I do. I've got like two. I've got more on the way now that I've got some Polymaker filament.
There you go. Keep on building, right?
Yeah, definitely. And I can highlight a comment. I can put a comment on the screen
Yeah.
here.
So Roughhouse Robotics, to answer that, is robotics itself. We're heavily involved with robotics. If you've got a robotics team, you can always reach out, support at polymaker.com. Or there's a form somewhere buried in the website. I don't even have the link. I have it shortcutted somewhere, but yeah, no, you can always seek out if it's a legit where you're in competitions or going to tournaments. There's a few guidelines. Nothing is super strict. It's just having our logo somewhere on it, being strictly printed in Polymaker filament. And yeah, it's a lot of times, especially with robotics, we're not so concerned with their Instagram having 100,000 people. They're getting thousands of views. On that part, we like to support education, whether that be through schools, through STEM projects or STEAM projects, or through robotics. It's because a lot of people get their start in 3D printing within robotics teams. Whether they join in high school or it's an after school thing that they join into. So no, it's one thing awesome with Polymaker, what they do of supporting that. But even with standard sponsorships, it's not always all about having 1 million subscribers and 1.5 billion views. It's really the project ideas. If you have a great way to showcase some filament, you can always reach out. Worst case scenario, you get a no, hey, this isn't going to work this time. Then you just come up with another idea, and if it works and it just matches our marketing plans at the time, then yeah, and anybody can be sponsored. I'm not trying to sound like cliche, like, oh, anybody can do it. But
Yeah.
again, you can always reach out. And the worst case scenario is you get me saying, hey, sorry, right now it's not something we're looking to sponsor. Reach back out. It's never like a dead end. Like, we said no to you once, don't ever contact us again. Lose our number.
Yeah. Yeah, and that was a good way to put it. And I've actually reached out to a few companies about sponsorship. None of them were 3D printing related until we reached out to Polymaker. But I had the idea of reaching out to a few other companies. One of them, believe it or not, I got a really funny sponsorship story here. Didn't go well. I reached out to Oreo because
Okay.
because I have the robot space junk, and Oreo, I think it was like January 2024. They came out with a limited edition Oreo flavor called Space Dunk. And it was like one letter off. And of course we had to try them. And as far as like how they tasted, that depends on which team member of ours you talk to, because some of us liked it, some of us didn't. And it was like regular Oreos with Pop Rocks in it, and I've never had Pop Rocks till I tried those. It's kind of weird, but actually
is if you ate them quick, like you never really experienced it. It was one of those things you have to like eat slow and like actually let the cream dissolve a little bit, so that way then you can have that. You can feel it and you can hear it.
Yeah, and of course we had to try them, and another teammate of mine said, like, it feels weird. These Pop Rocks feel weird in my mouth. I'm like, well, I can hear them. They're pretty loud, but I don't feel a thing.
Yeah, like I said, you have to definitely concentrate. If you're just eating them, if you're dunking them in milk and eating them, it's just a regular Oreo with some little candy pieces that you don't taste.
Yeah, they were interesting for sure.
How's it going, T-Dog?
That would be another teammate of mine, Travis.
Snooping in on us. The dog, right?
Yeah. Yeah, so that I did reach out to Oreo about sponsorship because I thought that was just hilarious. And there's a photo floating around somewhere. You can probably pull this up on our social media, or at least Facebook. There's a picture floating around somewhere of Space Junk next to Space Dunk Oreos. I wish I could show it on here, but I don't even know where that photo is.
So did you ever get at least a response back from them, or no?
I did. I got a response from them. They said, no, they're not going to sponsor us because they focus on health-related stuff. And I started laughing.
Wait, health-related stuff? Oreo? I mean, yeah. I enjoy an Oreo, but I know what's health and what's not.
Yeah, I just started laughing. Like, well,
sugar-free Oreos,
I can take a no, but I enjoy the laugh. Yeah, definitely. Oh, so yeah, that didn't go so well. I reached out to a couple related, or not related. I reached out to a couple companies about sponsorship. And, I started getting into 3D printing, and I got a 3D printer that I recently got it to work. And I had I had a very tiny bit of filament that a friend of mine had given me. I didn't have like a full spool of filament or anything. And so I don't even know what brand it is. It might just be some cheap filament from Amazon for all I know. But actually, the friend of mine who gave it to me, he actually said he got it at Maker Faire Orlando. Everything's just related to Maker Faire Orlando nowadays.
All ties in there, yeah.
Yeah, that event's involved in robotics somehow. But
the overall event was great. I mean, there was just a huge robotics presence, and the one thing that was new to me. I mean, obviously, robotics was the first time seeing the competition, but I knew of them. But the Power, I think they call it the Power Series or the Power Wheel Series. That was pretty eventful. The I want to say go-karts, but the racers.
Yeah, the power racing.
Yeah, that was interesting to watch also. So yeah, lots of fun stuff at Orlando Maker Faire. I'm sure they're going to be bigger and better this year too. I haven't followed up much to see what's going to be there, but I know Robot Ruckus is going to be there for sure.
Yeah, I've been attending Maker Faire Orlando every year since 2019, and I've heard many great things about the power racing every year. And that's one of their big things. I think that and Robot Ruckus are the biggest attractions at Maker Faire Orlando. And I have never once seen the power racing in person. I've only seen pictures of it to this day.
Oh, you didn't get a chance to last year either?
Yeah, because I went the first few years we went. I was just spectating. I wasn't involved in the fighting or anything, so I was just in the audience, and I would walk away from the Robot Ruckus to go check out the rest of the event, and I still never went to go see the power racing. And now that I've gotten involved in fighting over the last couple of years, I started fighting in 2023. That's when my team got involved in the fighting side of Robot Ruckus. So in 2023 and 24, those are 2 years we fought there. And in the 2 years, not once did I ever leave the Robot Ruckus area.
There's a lot going on there. Well, and then plus what's nice too is it's surrounded both ends with activities and different booths and just really cool. I think right outside the next it was connected building, but right by one of the main arenas was the like droids. And all the droids lined up. They had the robotic dog there, like the what is it, Boston Dynamics? But it wasn't Boston Dynamics. I think it was a open source project with a robot dog that was awesome.
Yeah.
Weird seeing, but awesome at the same time.
Yeah, Robo Dog was a big hit last year. And actually, Robo Dog, it was actually kind of funny because that Robo Dog came over when we were doing the award ceremony at the end of the event for Robot Ruckus. We were doing our award ceremony, handing out the prizes. Robo Dog came over, and it was the funniest thing ever. And one of the announcers pointed a microphone at it and saying, like, it literally just pointed a microphone at it and said, "Speak, speak." And Robo Dog literally verbally said, "No." And then the announcer, he goes, "Yes." And then the Robo Dog just takes a long pause and goes, "We've been trying to reach you about your car's extended warranty."
The go-to response, yeah. There's one point I was outside and it was walking around, but it would stop and it was going up to people. And I don't know if the person controlling it was playing music or one of the booths outside somebody was playing music. So it was dancing. Right. It was like kind of sidestepping and dancing. And it went up to like a little girl, started dancing with the little girl. It's like,
I saw that.
I took some video of it because it was cute.
Yeah, I saw it do that at one point. Everybody's addicted to Maker Faire Orlando.
Yep, I'm with you there, and not just because it's during the cold season in Ohio, so it gives me an excuse to come to Florida, but it was also a very fun time, and they're very accommodating. And went to the Orlando Makerspace. I think one of the nights after, and checked out their Makerspace and everything. That was the first time I've ever been to an official Makerspace. So there's a lot of initial things of robotic competition, of Maker Faire, Makerspace, Power Series. I mean, there's lots of cool stuff. If you're in the area and you've never been, highly recommend it.
Yeah, definitely. And if you're not in the area, do what this guy did. Travel.
Fly in.
Yep.
Get somebody together, go all in on a rental car, and then it wasn't that expensive. And I tend to book things last minute, so. But no, it was a good time. I wasn't that far from the venue, and the hotels were very fair priced. Some of the events you go to, the hotels that are within 10 miles are just ridiculously priced.
Why would you ever book anything last minute? I wouldn't know what that's like.
Yeah, I don't do that almost every event. I think I'd learned a lesson by now, but no, not yet. I said I haven't had any issues yet. Is the problem? The first time that I miss something or I'm way late for it, then that's going to be the lesson learned. Like, okay, that's why you don't wait until the last second.
Yep. Yeah, and we've actually got another robotics event. I may go into this later on in the stream, but we got an event coming up next month. It's actually on my 18th birthday. And so we're going to... Oh, thank you. We're actually going to spend a few days out. It's out in Stewart. So we're going to go out and spend a few days in a hotel there. And it was mind-blowingly cheap because, like, for a few nights on Labor Day weekend, it was cheap. And it was a good hotel. It wasn't some cheapo hotel. It was a good hotel.
Yeah, that's my thing. Like, I don't need anything extra and special as long as it's got a clean bed.
Yep, same. I agree. And to answer your question, Rough House Robotics, we do not have hockey there. We actually in 2023, we had a bot hockey sort of setup at the event. I think it was only there that Friday when everybody was just there to set up. I don't know if the general audience got to see it or not, or they put it away early. Because at one point during the event, I went to go play around with bot hockey while I had a minute, and it was no longer there. But in general, they don't do a bot hockey competition there, unfortunately. So I've
Are
considered
those
getting into that.
specific bots, or is it just taking your current bot and then pushing a puck around the field, or how does that work?
So bot hockey and combat robotics are two totally different sports. It's basically, I think it's kind of self-explanatory because it's like hockey, it's miniature hockey,
Yeah.
but instead of people throwing a puck all over the place like they've lost their mind, it's robots throwing the puck around like they lost their minds.
Is there like a
And
standardized robot that you're supposed to use, or is it just a pusher robot? Like what's the typical setup? Or does everybody have the same robot to move?
well, I think I don't really know much about bot hockey because I never really got into that. Uh, I've thought about getting into that, but I don't completely know how it works. But and I do agree, bot hockey is really cool from what I've seen. But I at Maker Faire, when I was in the middle of setting up, because we'd like to do setup at Maker Faire a day early because it's such a large event. So I was
They're
there
all
Friday
ready to go.
afternoon. Yeah. So we were there Friday afternoon, and they had this bot hockey setup, and whoever set it up, they already had bot hockey robots, and they had a little table next to the arena, and they were literally handing a controller and a bot hockey robot to whoever wanted to play around. So I got to
Oh,
play
so
around.
that's awesome.
There was a couple other combat robot builders that were playing around, so I got to do a little bit of unofficial bot hockey with another player, and I managed to get my robot stuck for the longest time. I couldn't seem to get out of a stupid corner, and by the time I finally got out the corner, the thing died.
Finally escaped, and you can do nothing anyway. So it was, might as well just
Yeah,
lay in the corner.
I had the controller in my hands. I'm just jerking the driving knob all over the place, trying to get it to drive out of that stupid corner. And finally, I got fed up with it. I reached my hand in there, pull it out, put it in the arena where it wasn't stuck, and right then's when the battery died. So that was a bit
Now,
annoying, but
now, did those bots have any moving parts, like a stick or anything, or was it just
no,
a
they're
moving bot?
mainly designed to just be push bots, sort of.
Okay.
So it's kind of like a weaponless combat robot, I guess,
Okay.
just so it can push a hockey puck around. And I don't think you're supposed to do any damage to your opponent because they're not in actual combat.
Not purposely, at least. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like really small. It's like a few inches. The arena's a few inches tall and has no roof.
Oh, okay.
So,
So yeah, so they don't go too crazy.
yeah. And the combat arenas, you see these big 8-foot arenas, at least what you saw at Maker Faire. They have these big 8-foot arenas, like 7 feet tall, because,
Surrounding
I mean, you
Texas
probably saw some of
plexiglass
the,
yeah, all the pieces.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
That first one, I don't remember what the names were, but the first one I watched, it had one of the center spinning weapons. Like I said, when
Ooh,
that thing ramped up, it was like,
yeah,
okay, put your hand in
yeah,
there. I understood then why they were doing the whole safety things, like a safety clip,
yeah,
a clamp that goes on them, and yeah, I learned a lot watching it, in person. Like, no, I get all these safety things. It makes a lot of
yeah,
sense.
definitely. Definitely. And a good evening to you too, Midnight Wolf. Thank you for tuning in.
Hey, what's up, Midnight Wolf? DJ Midnight Wolf, and I know that guy.
But yeah, they always have to take these safety procedures seriously with combat robotics. And like these batteries that we use, they're lithium polymer. We call them LiPo for short. These LiPo batteries are so toxic, you don't need to breathe that stuff in unless you want lung cancer, then go for it.
Yeah,
But
not
yeah,
recommended.
yeah. Yeah, smell at your own risk, though not recommended. We can't even say that.
Now is that
So
the lipos? Those are the same. Like if they get punctured, they can like shoot a flame out, right?
yeah, I was actually just telling a friend of mine about that the other day. I actually have one with me. Look at
Okay.
that.
Yep.
Look at that.
Oh,
So
is that
these little
Palm Beach
things.
Robotics?
Yeah, so this is Palm Beach bots here. I can do full screen. But yeah, so these are some of the Palm Power LiPo batteries from the famous Palm Beach bots who actually host Robot Ruckus nowadays.
Yep.
Shout out to Andy and Palm Beach bots. Everybody
He's
loves
an
Palm Beach bots.
awesome guy. He was actually who I worked
Yeah.
with on sponsoring the competition, and just
Ah,
more than accommodating. Like everything. Like when I showed
yeah.
up, I knew what was some of the guidelines, like having logo in one of the arenas and everything else, but seeing it on all the
Right.
screens, seeing it here, seeing it there, it's like, okay, you went above and beyond. He's like, anything else you need, let me know. And he said, let me get access back to the pit and go talk to the team. So I said, hey, Andy is definitely he's a top notch guy.
Yeah, definitely. I actually got the pleasure of judging with him at an event one time. That was fun. I've had many pleasant conversations with him. I enjoy hanging out with him.
Like judging, like on a robotics competition, like
Mhm.
what's judging? Like just damage done, or how's the judging work?
So these combat robot fights, they usually go for 2 to 3 minutes. So let's say I think Maker Fair Orlando, the minutes were each match, 2 minutes long,
Mhm.
and if the fight goes a full 2 minutes, it goes to a panel of 3 judges who judge based on damage, aggression, and control. And
Okay.
so basically, whoever damaged their opponent the most, whoever was the most aggressive, whoever controlled their opponent or the fight the most, that's the winner right there.
Sure.
And sometimes they can be tough decisions because they're really close. And so I got to be a judge at an event one time before I got into fighting, and I did not expect Andy to show up and judge at the same event that I was judging at. So that was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
And
so I'm sure a cool guy to work next to.
oh yeah, definitely. I'm actually kind of surprised and a little upset I haven't fought him yet because we fought at some of the same events.
Now that you say it, the next one you're going to is he's going to be there. Why is this fly is get away?
You sound like a Floridian. Go away, you stupid fly.
One that just keeps
But
buzzing back and forth.
it was
There
funny
he is.
because last time I fought my little robot, since it's a flipper, I found out that I can make this thing spaz out like crazy with the flipper. Oh my god, it's a lot of fun. And you can go see this on the most recent Little Rockets Here fight recap video. You'll see me doing it at the end of each fight. And at one point, a friend of mine who was standing behind me after the fight, she saw that what I was doing, and she's like, "There's a fly in there." Oh, that was just the funniest thing in the world.
Now, how much weight can that thing lift? Can that lift? I mean, obviously it's not a ton, but does it have pretty good
Yeah,
lifting power against other bots?
yeah,
I
it
guess
can
the other bots
actually.
are lightweight anyway, right?
I actually wonder if it could flip a 1 pound robot. I know it could. It could flip other fellow 150-gram robots because that's what it was designed to do. Because it's in that weight class.
Yeah.
Let's answer a question
And
here. Flamethrower on a robot, is that legal?
while
Well,
awesome, I think it's against the guidelines, isn't it?
it depends on what event you go to because
Right.
some events, not a lot of events will allow that, but every now and then you'll see one in Florida. And actually, Andy does those sometimes at his Palm Beach Bots event. The event we're going to next month is a Palm Beach Bots event. I'm actually going to Andy's event for the first time,
There you go.
and he won't allow flamethrowers at this one. I think it has to do
Some
with the event venue.
liability. I say liability when you're shooting
Yeah.
flames out of a moving robot.
If it were up to him, I'm sure he would allow it, but I think it has to do with the event venue. But it's understandable. And when he does run flamethrowers, he says flamethrowers are allowed in all weight classes except plastic ant weights for obvious reasons.
Yeah, one blast, one direct hit with a flamethrower and a plastic ant weight. Yeah, you might as
Oh
well just
man.
call it done. There's some
Yeah.
materials that can hold up maybe a few seconds, depending on how direct the flame blast is, but it would be interesting, but I mean, how big of a flamethrower could you put on a 1 pound bot at the same time?
Yeah. I don't even know how to put a flamethrower on a robot, I gotta be honest.
I wouldn't either. A lighter of
I
some sort that just, I guess you could just do like a miniature butane torch. Have like one of those little stick
yeah.
torches. Even that, I mean, the flame is that long, so you have to get like
Right?
right up to them.
Yeah, I've been sitting here wondering like how to do that, and I've had builders recently tell me like if you don't understand like the air to fuel ratio and how to do it, how to execute a flamethrower robot, do not do it.
How to mix? Oh yeah, yeah. Especially when you're mixing all the liquids and everything else, and making sure it's not just spitting
Yeah,
flaming fuel all over the arena and burn the arena down before you even end the battle. So
that is true. That is definitely true. We got another question. We got a lot of questions coming in, and thank you to everybody in the live chat. Do they televise these events? That sounds awesome. So there's a TV show called BattleBots. You can check it out. I think it still streams on like Discovery Plus or HBO Max. There hasn't been a recent season in a couple of years, but it would show on Discovery Channel. And that's the big robots where they fight 250-pound robots. Those things are
yeah,
absolute
those
killers.
they had some on display at Robot Ruckus, and yeah,
Yeah, they
those
always do.
things. Ooh, they
Yeah,
look
I have.
mean.
It's actually because of Robot Ruckus that I've actually had the pleasure of meeting more BattleBots teams than I can count. I've met a lot of them, and some of them actually remember me by name, which is shocking.
That makes you feel good. And hey, it actually
Yeah, it
remember
does.
me.
But yeah, if you want to see it on TV, go check out BattleBots on Discovery Channel. But as far as local competitions like the ones we have here in the state of Florida, these events are typically streamed on YouTube channels. That sound familiar?
Does anybody know somebody that has a YouTube channel
Hmm.
that has
I'll
something
get
to do
back
with
with you when I have an
robotics?
answer.
What to find that link?
Yeah, I'll let you know if I find one. But yeah, a lot of events here in Florida, they're streamed on event organizers' YouTube channels. So let's see how many. Oh man, we got a lot of comments coming in. Definitely appreciate the support here. Yeah, that's unfortunate.
Well, it's
How about
just
sub
something.
TV?
I
Yeah,
haven't seen any for a long time. It's I can't remember the last time I watched, but yeah, I used to watch them all the time because that's
yeah,
massive destruction. That's all
oh yeah.
not 3D printed pieces. Those are metal pieces, welded, riveted, and just
Yeah.
ridiculous power behind them.
Oh yeah, definitely. Most definitely. Those things are impressive to go and see that. And I want to go. I want to go see BattleBots.
I think they do them in like Vegas now.
Yeah, they do
I
it like
think
every
there's some
day.
other ones, but yeah. Oh, they do them every day.
They have a daily. They've been doing this for quite a while now. They have a daily show in Vegas, and they have. It's called BattleBots Destructathon. It is not televised. You could probably find some YouTube videos that
Stream
people
or
in the audience
something.
have recorded, but BattleBots themselves do not record it, so you cannot find it on YouTube live streams or TV. You'd have to just go out to Vegas to see it for yourself, and it sounds like a lot of fun. They recently celebrated their like 500th show. Like they've had 500 shows already.
Oh, jeez.
It's been going on for a good minute lately.
This is few. Yeah, yeah. I was gonna say I don't even remember how many years ago it was that I started watching them. And then, like I said, I don't know if
Yeah,
it changed channels or what it did, but I hadn't watched them for years. But now I gotta
yeah,
we gotta work with all sorts of robotics teams.
yeah, definitely. And you're working with miniature BattleBots teams here.
Yeah, not
That's
quite
I
as
was
big, but still impressive to watch, and
literally.
a lot cheaper to get into. A lot more accessible to us normal
Yeah,
folks.
yeah, definitely. I sit here and I cry about the prices of my robots, and then I remember, oh yeah, it's like tens of thousands for a BattleBot on TV. It's like, oof.
At least when your parts break, it's like, okay, so I got some hours of printing to get ahead of me, but that's all I need to worry about.
I complain to people all the time about my current robots are so expensive. They made me go broke. Yeah, and yet I want to go compete on BattleBots. How does that work?
I'd love to see a 250-pound 3D printed bot just to see him, maybe against another 3D printed one, not against one of the metal ones, because the metal ones would just decimate it. I have no doubt, but
Oh
it'd be
yeah,
interesting to see a really, really heavy plastic BattleBot. Might be able to get some toughness out of it.
Yeah, definitely. Ugh. That is sparking some ideas now. Plastic heavyweight
Only,
class.
let's see, about 100. Yeah, so yeah, you're looking about 100 spools of filament.
At
And
least.
to weight around 220, 230 pounds.
Actually, I kind of wonder. I'm going to Google it right now. So
Actually, it's
100
roughly
rolls.
2.2 pounds per kilogram.
Yeah, so a kilogram spool is 1,000 grams times, say 10. That's 10,000 grams. What's 10,000 grams in pounds? I don't speak grams that far.
I don't know down to that low of a number. I just know 1 kilogram, roughly 2.2
Oh, yeah.
pounds.
10 rolls of filament would not do it. That would be like 22 pounds.
No, 100 pounds, 100 spools.
Oh, 100. My
Yeah,
bad.
100 spools then would be around 220.
Let's see. Oh, geez. Let's see.
I don't even know any projects that we've sponsored that have used that much in one. Well, we do have a sponsorship. It's not a robotic sponsorship, but one of our community members is printing a 8 to 10 foot tall Voltron, and that's going to be over 100 kilograms.
Wow. All right.
Going to be a nightmare to ship, but it'll be really awesome to see.
Oh, yeah. That would be interesting. So, yeah, 220 pounds. Yikes. Yeah, the weight limit is like 250 on the show.
Okay, yeah. Like I said, now, I mean, you could get some somewhat resilient body, but I mean, a weapon, a plastic printed weapon versus a metal weapon. I mean, it's physics tells you which one's going to win on that one.
Yeah, standard heavyweight here in the U.S. weighs like 220 pounds, but on the show they allow an extra 30 pounds, rounded up to 250.
Just to make it that more fun of a spectacle to watch. More destruction, more weight, probably more weapons.
I can't even imagine a plastic heavyweight. I think even those will get blown to bits.
Oh yeah,
at that scale,
piece by piece at least. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. That would be interesting. I kind of want to see it. I'm getting ideas now. Oh boy. So yeah, I don't have a plan on making plastic robots at that scale, but now that I've got some Polymaker filament,
that means some new robot projects. Something though.
Yeah, definitely. I'm going to share a little update with Space Junk. I'm working on a new iteration of Space Junk. I've been working on this in my spare time, so the weapon sticks out more. Because I'm installing these weapon mounts backwards. Okay. So hopefully I can make for bigger hits. But these weapon mounts, I had a friend of ours print these for us. And I'm actually not sure what brand of filament he used, but he used ABS. And of course, we're using you-know-whose filament now. So I got some. Yeah, I can't remember their name for some reason.
Yeah, me either. Poly something.
Oh, Polyplastic.
There you go.
Plastic Maker.
Polyplastic.com. Polyplasticmaker.com. That's close enough, right?
Plastic Maker. But I got some dark purple PLA because I thought, we have some black mounts. Our weapon mounts are black right now. I thought dark purple would go with the color scheme really well.
Yeah, so Space, Galaxy, and
yeah, I actually made an attempt to print these. I'll zoom in so you can see it. But I made an attempt to print a set of weapon mounts. So I got 2 of them to show. So they came out looking nice. The only problem, let me show the robot again. So you see how thick these are.
Oh, yeah.
Nice and thick. So here's how these things turned out.
Not quite as thick.
Yeah, it's a little too thin.
Did the print fail, or did you just have a scaled, flat?
Well, what happened was I noticed I kept it going for like over half an hour. It only printed a couple layers, and then filament stopped coming out the nozzle.
Huh.
Painful, and that's happened before. So, hey, at least now I have a color sample.
There you go. Now you know what's going to look like next to black.
Yeah,
See, that was
definitely.
on
Yep.
purpose. It's a color swatch that you meant to print.
Yeah, definitely. So I think the problem this time is I clogged the nozzle. I'm just going to put a new nozzle on that thing. I just haven't done it yet.
And
Once I take care
nowadays,
of that,
what
go
kind of
ahead.
printer do you run currently?
At the moment, I have a Creality CR10 V3.
Okay. The CR10S. I don't know where that is in the V3 lineup. V3, I think, is the latest one, right? One of the
I have
newer
no
ones.
idea. I don't
There's
know.
so
It
many
probably is.
with Creality. There's so many versions of like Ender
Yeah.
3, Ender 3 V2, V3, SE, KE,
Yeah.
S1, S1 Pro. It's like I
Yeah.
can't keep track. So one of those. But yeah, that's especially once you tune. I always tell people too is when they're like, well, what about this printer? This printer. There's of course printers that are easier to start with, but really in
Right.
the end, I have my OG original Ender 3 that I
Wow.
started with. I still have it. It still prints, and it's tuned where, and I don't have like major modifications to it. I just have it nice tuned in to where I still have to level the bed every so often, but it prints
Right.
just as good as the bamboos. Way slower, but the quality's still there. It's
Yeah.
great quality. Just you just have to have more patience with it.
I've heard nothing but amazing things about bamboo printers, especially the Bamboo Lab P1S. It seems like everybody I know has a P1S, and I don't have one, and I'm not happy about that.
They're
I do
I
want to
think
get
on
one.
sale. I'm not pitching for another company, but I think it's $6.99 for the P1S combo, which is a killer price right now.
It is. It definitely is. And I've
Not
looked into
pocket
that.
change, but
I think all their printers are on sale. I
yep.
think the sale's still going on for all I know. But um, yeah, I've heard amazing things about the P1S, and a friend of mine recently convinced me to also get an A1 Mini. The thing with
Yep.
the A1
Oh,
Mini is,
great printer too.
yeah, it is a great printer from what I know. You just can't really print anything larger than roughly 7 inches.
Yeah.
So kind of limited on there. Like if I wanted to print a big robot frame or something, I'd have to use a P1S or the CR10, depending how big it is.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I think the P1S is just because it's the cheapest one that gets you an enclosure. So that way then you can do ABS, ASA,
Yeah.
PETG a lot easier.
I found a really cool enclosure for the A1 Mini on Amazon. It's like 60 something bucks,
And
but
there's
it's really
even
good
a
enclosure.
gentleman that what is it, CCJ3 Designs, I think it is, has 3D printable enclosures with like shelves underneath. It's like a whole modular setup.
Yeah.
I wish I could remember what it was. I think it's CC3D, CCJ3D on Maker World. Has some really cool enclosures and filament containers and all sorts of stuff that you can 3D print.
Yeah. I love doom scrolling on Thingiverse. I love Thingiverse, and I've actually
Yep.
found a
And they just
lot.
updated their website recently.
Oh
A little
yeah,
bit
it's
cleaner
nice.
layout.
It's nice. Yeah, and I've been finding a lot of robot designs for combat robots on Thingiverse, and I tried to print a robot that I found on there, and it came out just like this thing did. That was because of a different issue, but I had my nozzle lowered too far. That
So
didn't
it's
end well.
pushing too hard and just not pushing out
Yeah, and
right in the bed.
eventually, some of the print just snapped right off the bed and split. So as soon as it did that, I just stopped the print, called it quits.
Come back to it
Again,
eventually.
again, I have a color sample.
There you go. More and more swatches.
Yeah.
With the
So
new
to answer that
R3.
question, so these are actually not the new R3 version weapon mounts. This is actually, since we're on topic, this is a Thingiverse find. But somebody, I guess somebody on Thingiverse saw the weapon mounts for the Viper kit and decided it would help to have what I like to call bunny ears. Because when the robot gets flipped over, without having that sticking up higher than the weapon, the blade will literally just start grinding along the floor, and I found out the hard way that's no bueno. It's no good at
As
all.
opposed to trying to flip it, it's just like digging in.
Yeah, and it vibrates the whole robot, and it did some damage to my robot when I ended up doing that. I've done that a few times, and so having these bunny ears, it helped because they stick up higher than the blade. But with the new R3 version, there's not a version of the new weapon mounts that has the bunny ears yet. And I've been talking to a friend of mine about trying to design some. But we'll see how that goes.
Always a work in progress. Finding new
Yeah,
things
definitely.
and new ways and new pieces and parts. And
Yeah, good things take time. Look at this show off's comment right here.
I mean, A1 Mini, and they're amazing. Yeah, he had it printing at Midwest Rep Rap Festival in Goshen, Indiana, in the hot
Nice.
humidity, and it was still printing little tiny bananas that he was putting around the event. The A1s are great. Like I said, the bamboos. I've got a handful of printers. I won't compare because there's a lot. I've had a lot of collection over the years, but yeah, the bamboos are good. But it's nice to see a lot more companies are getting up to that point to where
Right.
it's an easier load it, print it. You don't have to tinker a whole lot with them. So yeah, I mean, Anycubic, even Creality, Sovels, I've got some good ones out there. Obviously, Prussia's had a steady platform for a while. So yeah, this I think right now is any of the newer printers, and everybody has their pros and cons to each one, but I don't think you really go wrong. Most of the newer ones are updated to print well, and print easily
Yeah,
for the most
definitely.
part. Only if you're using quality filament, though.
I think I know where I can get some quality filament.
I know a guy.
I know a guy. I am that guy. So we got another question here about the A1 Mini.
How do you feel about the mini? Too small? I mean, it really depends on what you're printing. I mean, if you look at what you've printed, the last 20 things you've printed, if they've all would fit in the within the 180 millimeter cubed area, then you're
Right.
probably going to be just fine with it.
Yeah.
Now, if you do a lot of different things, big, small, in between, then maybe you want to go to the A1 or to the P series or X series. But no, that's I tell everybody is A1 series printers like the A1 Mini, the A1, the P1P, the P1S, the X1C, etc. All the bamboo printers all print pretty much relatively the same speed and the same quality. They all work
Yeah.
phenomenal. Enclosures, of course, better for ASA, ABS stuff, but I think technically the A1s with the AMS lights can print faster colored objects, depending on the
Okay.
object itself or the model. But yeah, no, they're amazing. Amazing no matter which one you get. Just I would
Yeah.
go back and see what you printed.
Yeah. Definitely. And as far as this comment goes, most things will be 180 millimeters or smaller. Yeah, a lot of the things I would print are definitely smaller than that. Of course, there are some things I can only fit on a CR10. I gotta quit talking so fast.
I talk
But
fast too. You're good.
I tell people all the time when I catch somebody, they talk fast. They're like, "La, la, la." I go, oh, slow down. You're not Eminem.
A lot of times I might have to mentally tell myself, like, slow it down. You know,
Hey,
King
fellas,
Junkyard Dog.
I
Hello,
think
hello.
I think whoever that is sponsored by somebody I might know. I just can't wrap my finger around the name.
I mean, at this point, since August, I think any robotics team in the world is probably sponsored by us. It feels that way, at least. I
I
think we're
can.
over 300 total teams sponsored since August. So,
Is
and
that like
that's
robotics in
worldwide.
general or just combat?
No, robotics in general. So
Okay.
FRC, FTC, RoboMaster, VexU, et cetera,
Okay.
et cetera, et cetera. So yeah, so no, just and that's globally. I mean, I've sent stuff to many different countries and everything else, but it's awesome to see, because typically, we have at least a handful of, if not more, teams that we sponsor that make it to like world championships and everything else. So it's awesome to just. It's really cool too to see the progress, because we generate team share folders. Right, well, you know this, but for those watching,
Yeah.
if you don't know, we have a share folder for every team, so they can share media. So whenever they are need an update or need more filament, I can see the the progress, and it's really cool to see some of these teams going from a simple design, or we change this, and this, and just seeing what they're doing. I would get younger adults and even teenagers and preteens in some places, surprisingly,
Yeah.
that are involved, and just seeing the growth and what they're doing. I'm every time I see any update, I'm always floored to like, look at what you guys are doing. Like when I was in high school, like I was a nerd and I tinkered with stuff, but like I wasn't doing cool stuff like that. We didn't have robotics when I was in high school. It wasn't even an option. We had like
Yeah.
G basic programming on Windows 3.1, maybe in Windows 98 or something, but still it was they definitely have a lot of awesome tools at their disposal in education these days. So it's great to see.
Yeah. Yeah. And once we got our Polymaker filament in the mail, I took one of the rolls. It was actually the blue Polylite PLA that I got, and I decided to print a few fun things, just mainly to make sure I got my settings right in the slicer and the printer. And so I ended up printing these little miniature Maker Faire
Making fair
robots.
about, yep.
And this was a Thingiverse find, shocker. And I found CAD files for a modified one. This has a little indent on the top, so it can hold a pen on the top.
Okay, nice.
So yeah, I printed these little fun guys. So yeah, that's a lot of fun stuff. And this thing, it actually holds a pen pretty well, I must say. I would show it holding.
Sometimes it's the simple designs that are just the coolest things.
Yeah, most definitely. And I would show it holding a pen here on the stream, but it probably wouldn't hold because it's in my shaky hand, so that probably wouldn't work.
Fair.
Anyway, but yeah, it's really great film. I'm really satisfied with how this thing turned out, except for when I drop it like that.
Hey, they don't survive, right?
That wasn't too smart.
Now you just need to, if you print it in Polymax, it'll hold up even better. And that seems to be the filament of choice for robotics teams I've seen is just because it bends more with it before it breaks.
Stupid me made the mistake of getting Polylite Pro because I saw the word Pro and thought that was the same thing as PLA Plus.
Pro
or
is still pretty strong, especially even compared to our standard PLA. The PLA Pro is strong. A lot of different groups I can't mention use the PLA Pro and things they make, and they hold up very well because it's a very strong material. Polymax just it's still strong, but Polymax just allows it to bend more before it snaps. Where PLA Pro, once you flex it enough, it will snap, but it can take quite a bit of a beating.
Do you think if I printed Polymax this thin, it could still do this?
Oh yeah, it's actually been better than that.
Oh gee.
So it's not necessarily that it's more flexible; it's just that it's able to do that more before it starts to split split at the crease.
I wonder how far this could bend without breaking, but I don't feel like finding out.
Yeah, it's kind of a little token, a little memento of your first print with the dark purple, right?
Yeah, a little color sample. At least I know how it'll look. There we go, Junkyard Dog.
Right now for a big event in Tallahassee. There we go.
Yeah,
I like to hear that. The GPU also very resilient.
Yeah. Tallahassee, the Build Fight Fun event. That's one of the biggest ones in Florida. I wish I could go. But I wish you the best, Team Junkyard Dog, and put that Polymaker filament to use.
There you go. Absolutely. How's that event? Is that a US wide event? Because I think I've seen that in different places before.
So that one's hosted by Build Fight Fun. They mainly do events in Tallahassee and I believe the Gainesville area. They also provide one of the arenas that you saw at Maker Faire Orlando.
That's probably why it sounds familiar.
As previously
they were on all the promo stuff. Build Fight Fun.
Yeah.
Okay, yep.
Yeah, and there are two other arenas besides the Polymaker arena, so you can't be that biased. There was another arena that had the Build Fight Fun logo on it. And so they provide one of the arenas for Maker Faire. They've been doing that last couple of years, and they're yearly supporter.
Yeah, they're well
And
built because I mean plexiglass all around, and then
yeah,
TV on top of them, and the cameras
yeah,
and everything else that they
yeah,
have built
definitely.
in. It's
In
hats off to the
2023,
builders.
at Maker Faire 2023, we actually fought in the Build Fight Fun arena, and that's the arena that Space Junk got its first ever win in.
Nice.
So that's a little bit of history. And we just had an event in Tampa a little over a month ago, and the event organizers for the Tampa event asked to borrow Build Fight Fun's arena. So I got to fight in that arena again, and absolutely sucked.
I was gonna say, did the win follow you? Did you get a second win? But uh, you win some,
I
you
I
lose some,
was
right?
I was hoping I could keep that going. I only had one tournament win in that arena. I also won a grudge match in that arena at Maker Faire. I was hoping I could at least win one tournament fight so I could say I get one win every time I fight in this arena. Jinx myself. The fights are on the Jupiter Robotics YouTube channel, so everybody watching, if you haven't seen them, go subscribe to our YouTube channel and go watch those videos. They're entertaining even when we get our butts kicked.
Do you stream any of the events, or do you plan on streaming any this year? On
We
your channel?
actually, what we do is we pre-record our fights, and then we do a lot of heavy video editing.
Okay.
And then once it's done, we throw it on YouTube. So I like to have them up pretty quick, like within the week following the event. But there was like last year we got bad about that. It took us like a month to video edit everything. That got bad.
Take
But
some
we're back
work. Oh
to
yeah.
we're back to keeping it within the week following the event.
There you go. Kind of still fresh. People know that it happened, so they can go watch it.
Yeah.
Yep, impact resistance. I've learned that
Yeah.
dealing with many teams, and it's nice because with working with so many teams is, selfishly, I have all this knowledge. So any question I have hundreds of teams. I can just like, hey, so what's this, or what does this mean, or I seen that you shared this. What exactly is this part? So I've learned a lot through the shared folders and asking the team questions because I'm just generally clueless. I've never I've never built one or gotten to the details of them until recently. So, and it's just impressive what they do, whether it be the battle bots or the FTC stuff. All of it's crazy with again what you guys are coming up with.
Yeah, and the sport is quickly evolving. That's for sure. Like they're just getting better and better. It's crazy what people are coming up with. Man, it's just awesome.
They've noticed my my latest obsession. I see.
I was actually about I was about to bring one of those comments on here. Yeah, there's a bunch of there's a bunch of comments going on in there about it.
Yeah, so some of the people here from our community, and they know, which I do my Tuesday stream, and I shared that last week on Tuesday stream because I printed a small one, and then I printed the large one. It was just I don't know. He's fun. I like stupid humor, and he's caught my attention, and I love the skits. So as soon as I seen the first thing pop up in Maker World, it's like, yeah, I'm gonna have to print it. So now he's there on all my team calls. So I'm on work and I'm doing meetings with all the upper management. You got a big bronze Highland cow. You got Chit. Do it, lady. I want to make it a thing this weekend because I'm going to go see the team. This fly, I swear, is I'll see the team this weekend. So
nice.
I'm going to definitely implant "Do It, Lady" as a saying within the team. We'll see if we can get it to stick.
You think we could get a close up on that real quick?
Oh, the "Do It, Lady"?
Yeah. Let's see it.
It's my pride and joy of the 3D printing so far. Do it, lady.
Yeah, be proud of what you print.
Oh yeah. It's even that's simple. It's a flat, layer change, layer swap print, but it's fun. And then this is for my wife. This is she loves Highland cows. So this is
that thing's awfully large.
Yeah, this is almost maxed out size on my Anycubic Cobra 3 Max.
Oh wow.
But it turned out, the detail turned out very, very well. And then I added weight. There's silicon beads inside of them. I halfway printed, I dumped silica beads in. I just add weight so it doesn't tip over or get knocked over easy because it's lightning infill, so it's not super strong. That thing knocks to the floor. It's going to be broken.
Yeah. As seen on Polymaker TV.
There you go.
Yep.
Now we can just sponsor them.
Okay, what we got here.
PLA. Yeah, okay, so tough PLA. So yeah, it's PLA, the Polymax PLA.
Mm-hmm.
Uses. Yeah, and that's what I've learned is a lot of people will like, especially when I started doing the robotic sponsorships last year, was that a lot of teams will ask questions. Hey, we're looking to do this or this. What's a good material? And
Yeah.
just through working with other teams is when I learned that Polymax was like the go-to. And people would be like, hey, I've heard, so and so told me that the Polymax is great. Would you recommend it? And like, I know a ton of people that love it, and I haven't had any like complaints. So yeah, no, it's definitely been big in the robotics team.
Yeah, definitely, and I still can't believe I made that mistake of getting PLA Pro because it said Pro instead of getting Polymax.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still good filament. Don't
As
get
long
me
as
wrong.
that Polymaker on it, that's all that matters, right?
That's true. Yeah, as long as it's Polymaker. At least never mind. I'm not gonna make that comment. Oh man, these people are loving that Do It Lady that you printed. How long did that take to print?
4 or 6 hours on no, sorry, that was the big one. Over 3.
Wow.
I think it was 8 or 10 hours because I maxed that one out on the Cobra 3 Max.
The Do It Lady or the Bull?
Yep. Oh, the bull was 75 hours.
Oh.
Yeah,
wow.
So that took a little while.
Yeah, the Red Bull took a few days.
And the support material, I see Midnight Wolf said he doesn't tell us about 2 hours of support material. Oh no, that's PLA Pro. That's our metallic bronze. And that honestly, it was the end of the nose, a little bit on the ears and on the horns, and they all came right off. There was not a whole lot of post processing. It took me all of about 30 seconds. It was
Nice.
The harder part was the fact that since I think it was five bottom layers, I think 3 perimeter walls, and then 5 top layers. So it was more the fact that since it was lightning infill, that base, I was afraid that I was going to lift it off and split the base off. So it was harder, more flexing it gently to get the whole base off the plate. And by the time I actually flexed the plate and got the whole thing off, half the supports are already falling off. So actually, it was not hard. I have had some that have been ones that I know never to print again that have way too hard the supports to remove, but this one thankfully was easy.
Yeah, the first time I tried to print one of these little Maker Faire pen holders, I accidentally printed this little guy with supports all over. And that was a nightmare to try to get it off the bed, and then it just broke anyway. Like, the legs broke off.
The support material probably was just as much filament as the figure was.
It's because I accidentally forgot to turn supports off because I turned supports on for another project and forgot to turn it off when I went to print that. That was a stupid mistake. That's another mistake right there.
People do that more often than you realize. And it was just recently Sean internally was dealing with it. I was saying, hey, I got this ASA, and ASA Black works great using the exact same profile for ASA Silver. It's not working. And coming to find out, the silver was PET G silver and not ASA. And that's why I didn't print well.
Yeah. So here with me, I've got
these 5 Azure blue.
Yeah. That's a classic PLA that I got.
Yep,
that's what I used to
love that blue.
Yeah, I love that shade of blue. It's amazing. I got this blue, of course, for robot parts, but I also want to print a few fun things just to get the hang of slicer settings before trying to print something as important
make sure
as
everything's tuned in right.
Right. Make sure I got all my settings dialed in the slicer and the printer, everything else. And so that's why I printed a couple of Maker Faire robots. I'm going to print a couple more fun stuff with that. And I really like the blue. Of course, we got black and dark purple. I do have a couple of rolls
Yeah.
of PETG here, black and dark purple.
There you go. Yeah,
Because
that dark purple is also a beautiful color.
yeah, it is. And I got PETG because I wanted to use that for a couple of combat robot projects. And then I mentioned it to a friend of mine in combat robotics, and he's like, "No, don't use that stuff in a combat robot." I'm like, "People use that stuff all the time, don't they?" I guess it's not as good as
Yeah,
PLA. Or, I don't know.
yeah, it's got some flex to it, but yeah, I think
Yeah,
I don't know if, what the reasoning between that versus the PLA would be, but hey,
yeah,
everybody's got their own designs, and a lot of times I found not just with robotics, but especially use case scenarios and case studies is a lot of times you can design the model around the filament, knowing the characteristics of the filament. Of
yeah,
okay, hey, this is stronger in a small spot, more walls. This is stronger as a side
yeah,
wall with less infill. So yeah, there's again a lot more technical stuff than I realize going into it, and just it's not just putting a weapon on it, printing it out. You can do that, but when we're talking with all the teams at Robot Ruckus, is that's where I learned was there's a lot more thought process into it. Is okay, hey, printing this and this. This has this
yeah,
effect. This has this characteristic. This flexes more, and we need that. Like, oh, okay. Now I understood a lot more walking away from that event. There you go. The
yeah,
pet do explode when hit hard. Yeah, it was shatter.
yeah. That's why I only wanted to use the Pet G in a plastic ant, not a full combat. That would it, because at that point I could still fight spinners. These robots with spinning weapons in a plastic ant class, but at least they wouldn't be made of metal, so it probably wouldn't be as hard of a hit.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, people are telling me don't use that stuff in a plastic ant; it'll explode. You should have told me that before I bought it.
You have it now. You might as well print it and find out.
Yep.
Or like I said,
And
find some other cool things you can do with it, whether it be in a weapon or a moving part, or it's always used for filament
yeah,
somewhere.
I used one guy. I told one guy that he was telling me don't use that stuff in a combat robot. I told him that if I'm not getting blown to bits, chances are I'm not having much fun at all.
Yeah, there's a lot of fun in the explosions and the damage and the chaos of it all.
80
Just print
walls.
with 80 walls, rock solid.
Yeah.
I don't know. At that point, you might be over that 1 pound limit.
Oh man, I'm kind of half tempted to pull up Kira and see what I get on that. I don't know. I would say I'd have to print it in no infill, but I don't think that would make much of a difference. Still weigh
Yeah,
like
no, I think
100
I thought,
pounds.
yeah, I would say 80 walls, depending how big that robot, the pieces are. I think it would just be solid. There would be no infill.
Yeah, that is crazy.
Oh, okay. 80 walls to control how the layers go down. Hey, still 80 walls, build it strong. Use all the strong materials.
Team Junkyard Dog, I want to hold you to your word. I want to see you print something for a combat robot with 80 walls. See if you can make weight.
Brings it in, just dominates the whole competition. Like, oh, he got me. Yep, I should have listened.
Yeah, should have kept the mouth shut.
That'll be the I told you so. Oh, said we do. Okay, there we go.
I don't know if I believe that
And
or not, but okay.
as Team Junkyard Dog, do they will they compete in Robot Ruckus also later this
Yeah,
year?
they're there every year, and they go to a lot of events in the state of Florida. Honestly, they're one of the teams. I'm quite surprised when I find an event that they're not going to, because like them and Purple Fire Robotics from the Florida Polytechnic University, they go to a lot of events in the state of Florida. I've only ever been to the Tampa events and Robot Ruckus, and I'm going to one of Andy's events in Palm Beach. It's actually in Stewart this time, but it's going to be my first time going to an event outside of Orlando or Tampa, and it's going to be a lot of fun.
Is that
On
like
my
a
18th
day
birthday,
event or a
too.
weekend event or?
Yeah, so this Palm Beach Bots event, this one's just a 1 day event. I'm going to be in town Friday, sometime Friday evening, get checked into the hotel. drop off the stuff, and probably go to bed. Just crash, rest up, go to the event Saturday, go to hotel, crash, take some Advil and crash. And Sunday we're gonna spend the day at the beach. That'll be a lot of fun.
There you
Drive
go.
home Monday. So yeah, we're gonna be in Stewart
Feels like a
for a
good
few
weekend.
days. Yeah,
Get to do some robotic battles and then get to go to a beach. So that's 2 great days in a
yeah,
row.
yeah, definitely. Uh, and we're doing a beach trip the day after the event because birthday weekend. So
So
fun way to
to
celebrate.
celebrate.
A combat
Hopefully you
robot
celebrate with a
competition.
win.
Yeah, hopefully that would be nice. I've been looking at the lineup and just thinking, how am I supposed to beat half of these people? I'm
Just make
hoping
sure
we
to tell
don't.
everybody it's your birthday, and maybe they'll give you a little bit of sympathy. Like, okay, hey, we're gonna back off this guy a little bit. It's his birthday.
I
You
thought
need a
about that the other day.
you need to 3D print a birthday candle and put it on top of your bot.
I'm gonna go up to Andy and be like, "Hey, it's my 18th birthday. Can I get a little weight bonus for this thing? It's not intended to damage my opponent or anything. I promise.
Just
Even
a
though
nice
it's on
little
fire."
aesthetic thing. Yeah, you could print a fake flame. And actually, there you go. So Team Junkyard Dog, yeah, you just use TPU. That way, even if it gets hit or you get flipped, it just flexes and bends on itself. Just do, like I said, just a little birthday candle and glue it to the top.
Team Junkyard Dog. My response to this comment of no mercy: you guys suck. I don't want to fight you.
I'm gonna
Actually, I
take my
fought.
bot home in one piece rather than 50 pieces.
Yeah, that would be nice. Or wait a minute, light bulb. So my last event, Space Junk had its weapon ripped off and then ended up in God knows how many pieces. And this event, there is a limit for Space Junk. You cannot send Space Junk home in more than 18 pieces.
There you go, one piece for each year of age, right?
That's right. And if I don't hit 18 in tournament fights, you can grudge me.
There you
Not
go.
you, Junkyard Dog. I'm not grudging you.
Somebody else.
Yeah. I fought
Anybody else.
I've actually fought Team Junkyard Dog about a year ago in Tampa, and they have a weaponless robot, and they kicked my butt. That they beat my robot that has a weapon on it. How's that fair? Anyway,
Just gotta watch all their videos and see where they're doing everything right and just copy them.
and do better.
There you go. Get some new engineering filaments in there. Maybe we have our PPS. That's pretty strong
Yeah.
and a dense material. But Da
No, the
Vinci 10,
COPE. That's a new filament of yours, isn't it?
that's copolyester, and so
Okay.
it prints similar to PLA, but it's got basically better printability. Printability can print faster, better bridging.
Cool.
But it is not strong. I definitely would not recommend it in robotics. I mean, it's more comparable to like our PLA silk,
Right.
and the silks are why they are pretty and they look good. They're not super strong. So
Yeah.
but they are, yeah. The Kopi, it's got the ability to be a much more affordable filament. So
Yeah.
I don't want to say necessarily PLA replacement, but it has the ability
Right.
to. Again, not for strength, but more for aesthetics. So if you're wanting to
Yeah.
print cool things to stand on a shelf, or this would be great on our Kopi. We don't have a bronze yet. We have a bronze PLA, but not Kopi.
Yeah. I've actually been hearing about a couple of recent Polymaker filaments, that being one of them. So, if you want, you can take the next few minutes to talk about whatever is new with Polymaker
Yeah.
and
So
Polymaker products.
our newest thing has been our HT PLA, which is our high temp PLA, and we also have high temp PLA GF, which is just a little bit stronger, can gain better characteristics being annealed, which is just heated in an oven for 100 degrees Celsius for 30 minutes. Depending on the print, the thinner the print, not so long, the thicker or bigger the print, the longer. But that is coming back in stock. So those that have heard about it already, maybe you got some, you didn't get everything you wanted, or you didn't get any because it sold out way quicker than we anticipated. It is coming back in stock. Ideally here in a couple weeks. Don't quote me on that, but ideally in a couple weeks, 2-3 weeks, we should have stock back ready. If you're on the website, go click on the HTPLA, find the one that you're interested in and hit get notified, because we have a long list of people that are waiting to be notified when this comes in stock. So I'm not gonna say it's gonna sell out quick again, because we have a bit coming in, but I would just get it sooner than later, because it could sell out again, and then we have to wait for the whole process, with production ramping up again on it. But other than that, we do have some new stuff coming out. I can't talk about that stuff yet, but some new engineering stuff, some new colors in our Panchroma lineup. So stay tuned. We've got a couple of those are going to be out by the end of this month, and a few more out next month. So always keep your eyes peeled on the website. Follow us on Discord. Follow us on the socials. We announce everything through all those media channels. So if we have something new, it's going to be announced there. I think
Very secretive.
Yeah, we're always working on so many things. Our R&D team is nonstop. Our product managers. If I could only share the long list of roadmap of materials, new variations of materials, new colors, new surface effects. There is so much always in the works. It's crazy to see the background, but I try to tease things as I can. But right now there's not much I can tease yet, other than there
Fair
are
enough.
some really cool things coming.
Fair enough. And you said 2 to 3 weeks, possibly.
Yeah, should be 2 to 3 weeks for the HTPLA. Like I said, the best way to be notified is clicking notify or get notifications on our website. That way, then you get an email as soon as it goes back in stock.
All right, so 2 to 3 weeks. It'll sell out quickly. You quote them on that, everybody.
Yeah, likely. There was a way bigger demand for it than the beginning that we thought. Of course, we didn't anticipate the sellout so quick. So we actually give you a little bit of internal stuff. There's whole plan. So with the marketing plan of a new material, everything like that, a whole thing behind it of, okay, here's content that we're going to release here, here, and here, videos here, this post here. There's a lot of moving parts. It sold out so quick that pretty much halfway through our marketing plan, we said, okay, hey, let's pause it, because right now we put out another 2-3 weeks worth of marketing, video, things like that, of showing off this material. People are going to be mad because we're showing it off and they're going to go to buy it. Like, why are you showing it off? We can't even buy it. It's sold out. So we have a whole bunch of marketing just waiting in retainer for when it comes in stock. That way we can, share some really good in-depth videos, some fun videos. And yeah, so stay tuned. Yeah, like I said, follow us at least on one of the socials if you're not already. You can follow us on all of them if you want. And then also discord.polymaker.com. That's where we have a lot of our information. There's a lot of knowledge, a lot of cool people, whether robotics or custom printers or figurines or Nerf blasters, everything in between. And then we also have a hangout that we often just hang out in, talk 3D printing, have fun, make jokes, and say "do it, lady" a few times in the voice hangout. And so anybody is welcome there. We keep it PG, so even if you're younger, you can come in there. We're not blasting curse words or anything like that. Everybody's keeping it pretty chill. And like I said, and we welcome anybody, whether you come in there for a problem and you have a question, or you just want to come in there and see what it's all about and you don't want to talk. We don't force you to talk. You can type in the chat if you want to, or you can just come in and lurk and just see how weird we are behind the scenes. And often there's a couple of us that Polymaker team members that are there if you want to talk to us, say hi, or just see what we're up to.
Fun stuff. Let's see. There was a comment. Where'd it go? Oh, yeah. I thought this was pretty funny. I think
I was there. I was there before working for Polymaker. Yeah, my side hustle was paying for my side hustle, and that was my main thing getting into 3D printing. Was I didn't do a whole lot of sell stuff. Like I did some craft fairs here and there, but really it was just to make money to buy more filament and to make money to buy more printers. And it was never like a profiting thing. Like, okay, well, I can buy a printer and then I'll hold a couple $100 back for myself. No, that stuff all just it recirculated, and that's why my workshop, which is over that way, is filled with printers and a ton of filament. Well before I even worked for Polymaker, I have way more filament than I need, even more so now.
Oh yeah, I bet. Man, we got a lot of comments coming in. Thank you all for the support. And that would be a friend of
RBC
mine.
Robotics.
That would be a friend of mine. Hello, Max.
And I imagine their robot is Hydra.
No, just a Hydra fan.
Okay.
He
Fair.
actually lives out in Singapore, so it is 8:30 p.m. here. It's 8:30 a.m. in Singapore.
Just woke up. Good morning.
Yeah. Morning, Sleeping Beauty. All right. What else? Oh man, we got a lot of comments. Definitely appreciate everybody tuning in. We got a good little crowd here. Everybody, be sure to tune into. Let me rephrase that. Subscribe to the Jupiter Robotics channel. There I go, talking too fast again. And the Polymaker YouTube channel. Because this guy I have with me, this guy I have with me does more streams than I do.
Yeah,
this is
they've accumulated over the year for sure.
Yeah. This is actually the first YouTube live stream I've ever done.
There you go. I'm honestly, I'm very happy to be part of it, and I appreciate you inviting me and letting me be part of it.
Yeah, and it's
always fun to talk, and like I said, whether it be something I don't know about, something I do know about, and just really somebody that has the same passion for 3D printing. That's why I can talk all day long at these rep events and maker fairs, because there's so much to talk about. There's so much to share, and in my basement, my office here is I don't get to talk to a whole lot of people other than on screen, so it's always nice to have some one-on-one. So I appreciate having me on for sure.
Yeah, and I definitely appreciate you taking the time to hop on here with me. It's definitely a lot of fun doing this, and I do plan to do this some more. I am planning, I can't really say when, but I'm planning to have more special guests on the show, like Outside of the Box podcast. A lot of you robot nerds will know about that. Outside of the Box podcast, amazing. Christina's amazing at hosting that show. Go subscribe to her YouTube channel. I'm going to have her on here in a couple of weeks. And so I do look forward to that live stream. I also have ideas for more live streams where they're going to be open to invite. And basically that means I'm going to have I'm going to take the link to join this stream like I sent you. I'm going to send it out into the YouTube live chat for any robot builders to join. One of them is going to be just for Florida combat robot builders, and another one can be for builders from around the nation.
That's awesome. Yeah, especially I think especially when you get more and more heads together. I mean, number one, just talking about it, especially for a viewer, allows them to come in and you guys are talking this and that. And even if I don't understand everything you're talking about, I can pick up on things, and it's just, again, cool to see what it goes into these robotics and robots, battle bots. Everything is just, it's very impressive. So I'm all for it. I'll come by every now and then, say hello, and lurk in the channel and watch. So I'll keep my eyes peeled, and I've already subscribed, so I'll see the notification when you go live.
Everybody be like Polymaker. Subscribe to our channel.
There you go. What would Polymaker do? Subscribe. That's easy. It's a click, and there you go. And if you're busy when a notification for live goes out, that's fine. Join later or just join the next one. So it's not a hard thing. Just a simple click and you're done. Yep.
And if you don't catch a live stream while it's live, you can go back on the channel and rewatch it.
The VODs.
And stay tuned, and we'll have it posted when we have a new stream coming up. So definitely subscribe. Don't miss out on that. And when I do these open invite streams and I have more robot builders, you're welcome to join us as well if you want to.
I'll come in as the clueless guy that just offers filament. I know plastics. That's about as far as it goes.
You just sit here and just be like, yep, sounds right.
I don't even say anything the whole time, either shake my head yes or no. I just see what everybody else is doing. Like,
I agree. I don't know what you're saying, but I agree.
Up and call it a day.
When somebody asks you a question directly, be like, I don't know, but do you want some free filament?
I can't answer your question, but I can give you a free spool.
Does that make up for it? I don't think
anybody would be upset. I don't think anybody would be upset about that. They'd purposely ask me questions that I definitely have no idea the answer to. Like, Oh, you got this one wrong too. There's another spool. I don't know. I'd have like 100 spools out by the end of the show, so I might get in a little bit of
Yeah,
trouble for that.
yeah. Be like, hey, Joel, how do you program your ESCs in a heavyweight?
USB.
Free filament. That's how.
Yeah, there you go. You program a filament, right? Every answer is just filament.
I mean, technically you do because you have to do all that in the slicer, right?
I see. There you go.
Yeah, it's close. It's close enough for me.
It, no one's judging.
Filament, filament, filament. I agree. Oh man, we're having too much fun. Hey, that's what it's all about. You come on here, you talk about what you love, whether it's robotics, 3D printing, whatever
Yeah,
hobby, side hustle. Yeah,
but
just have
it's
fun with
crazy
it.
how much all of it all connects. Like I said, obviously, the connection is simple there, 3D printing and 3D printed robots, but no, just the passion of just in creating, whether it be a DIY, putting stuff together yourself, or downloading somebody else's creation and building it.
Yeah,
I think everybody has something that they love in that, so it's easy to jump into.
yeah.
I don't want
Well,
free filament. I want
here's.
free boxes.
Hey, at least you're
Polytire
honest.
boxes, or boxes
Or
because they're ruined at Murph because of the water on the floor.
boxes at least this big, full of filament.
Yeah, just a spool that big, right? Why not?
Yeah,
Why did Polymaker? I'm reading John here. Why did the Polymaker filament go to therapy? Because it couldn't. Oh, I just had a pop up. Just block that out. So because it couldn't handle the extrusion pressure and needed to melt its fillings. Did you throw that into Chat GPT or did you come up with that? I'm a dad, so that right there is 100% a dad joke to me. Which if you're a dad, that's fine. You're allowed that.
shoot. If I worked for Polymaker, I would literally right now say, throw in your best plastic, your best filament joke, and you win a free roll of filament.
Yeah.
I don't work for Polymaker, so
Whoever,
I can't say that.
whoever has the best dad joke, y'all. Let's see here. Hold on. Let's put it on a bumper sticker. Y'all also do sponsorships with RC car stuff. Roughhouse Robotics. Yeah, so it just depends. Robotics is easier because it's something that it's a team. It's usually competition led. RC car, if it's like a personal build, depends on the project, and it depends on how you're sharing that project. So, are you planning on detailing the build? Is there going to be videos? Is there going to be, whether you're sharing stuff to Instagram or TikTok or YouTube? Again, don't think that you have to have all the socials and thousands of viewers on all of them. That's one thing that can be used to determine what you're building, but it's not a guaranteed denial because you have a small channel. I sponsor a ton of small channels. It's really just how is the content done, how is it representing Polymaker. There's a lot of detail that goes into it. All I can tell you is if you have a build, you have all the details to the build of timeline, how you're going to be doing it, how you're going to share it, how you'd represent the sponsorship. Support at polymaker.com. Submit it there. All that goes to our ticketing system. And once it's determined as a sponsorship, whether through the auto assignment or Sean that does all the tickets, it'll get assigned to me. So, and actually, I've got a new person helping me with those. It'll be signed to her also. So, yeah, I always encourage reach out. The worst case scenario, I'm never going to tell you that's horrible idea. If it just doesn't work with our marketing plan at the time, it'll just be a soft denial. Hey, sorry, this is going to work right now, but if you have another project in the future idea, always reach out. Again, I encourage that across the board. If there's any other companies that has something that you have a good idea for on a project, reach out. Worst case scenario, they're going to tell you no, or they're just not going to respond. With Polymaker, we will always respond. Even if it's a denial, we will always let you know a yes or no, one way or another.
Yeah, I always tell people I'd rather be told no than nothing.
Yep.
And like I said earlier, I've reached out to a few other unrelated companies about sponsorship, and I'm just thinking, I'm just gonna go in and hopefully they sponsor my team, and I know the worst thing they can say is no.
Yep.
So,
and at that point, you're in the same boat. At least now hey, I don't need to bother with them right now. Let's go to this next, because there's other filament companies. We know that, but no, like I said, it doesn't matter what company it is, whether it's in 3D printing or a whole nother area. The worst thing you're going to get is either a non-response or a no. And
yeah.
that's okay. That happens. Now, then you just move on and you find something else that might work. Very true.
Yeah.
Miss 100% of the shots you do not take. Absolutely.
We got another joke here from Junkyard, and when we were talking about dad jokes, I would like to do giveaway. The best dad joke wins a free filament. Of course, I can't say that, but I kind of meant it had to be related to
It's hard
filament.
to judge on which I don't think I can. Let me see here. I don't think I can run. Yeah, no, it won't. No, because it won't let me run on YouTube anyway, because I don't have it live. I'd say if I can. So usually we don't do like voting ones too often because then it's hard. It's subjective. Like I think it's good. Somebody thinks another person's good. But if we had a spin wheel, actually, here, you know what? We got 1, 2. I don't know how easy this would be. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We could put a. Let's do film it for everyone. Whoa! Let's calm down now. No, we can give away. We can give away a spool filament. So, let's do this. So we what we always do in Polymaker streams is type in "I am awesome." If you want
You want to
entered
do that?
in, yeah. It's so what I'll do is I'll just take because I'll see how many there are.
Mm-hmm.
Because you
I
ever run a
actually
StreamYard giveaway?
I have a setup where I can do that like as soon as right now. I could set it up easily. Yeah. Okay, check this out. Check out the screen. You see that at the bottom of our screen here, and all the viewers can see this. At the bottom, there's that text I mentioned about us being sponsored and go subscribe to our channels. So you can see that, right?
Yep. Jupiter Robotics is sponsored by Polymaker.
Check this out.
To the Jupiter. There you go.
There it is.
Then have you ever set up a giveaway on your channel before?
I have not.
Within StreamYard?
I have not. I've actually not done that. This is kind of an experimental live stream for me because we've never done a live stream on our channel. But I've been playing around with StreamYard like crazy the last few days, and I've been finding out all the amazing features, and we already have people entering. Awesome.
Let me see. We'll see if we can set it up because if anything, I'll have to do it manual. If you can't get,
I already know how to do it because I already have another tab pulled up on my web browser. It's a spinning wheel, so I can put everybody's name on a spinning wheel. Just spin that like Wheel of Fortune, and it'll pick.
So you already have that pulled up?
Yep, I already do, and I can share it on my screen so everybody can see it spinning.
There we go.
So, whenever you're ready to wrap this up, you let me know, and we will get to that at the end. For now, slow down, people. I gotta put your name in the wheel manually. Okay.
I think the first one was Korea Rice Box. They got Korea Rice Box, John, GTR Dad,
Korea. I have to enter the names manually, so this is going to take forever. All right. Korea Rice Box, correct?
Yep. Unless there's no like similar name, so we'll be able to call them out for here. And then John, Jon, or Jean. Depends how he wants it pronounced.
I know I get called that all the time. I get called anything but Jonathan. For me, it's John. So I'm going to call you John.
And GTR Dad.
All right, GTR Dad. Oh, you did it in all caps and everything. Look at you. Okay.
Yeah, I'd say even if you don't have the spelling right, as long as we know the reference. Da Vinci 10.
Wait, GTR Dad?
Yep.
All right, and what was the next one?
Da Vinci 10.
The dyslexia is coming out in me.
DAVINCI 10 or 10.
DAVINCI 10.
And then
if anybody's name is misspelled, it's your fault because you entered so quickly and there's so many of you.
Well, as we can reference them. I don't think that if they win, I don't think they're going to be concerned with the misspelling.
Only comment "I am awesome" one time, please.
And we got Tech Jeeper. Did you do Midnight Wolf?
No, I did not do Midnight Wolf.
Right. Yeah, so Midnight Wolf. I'm going through them so that I'll get them all here.
I appreciate the support with sponsorship and whatever you want to call this. All right. I got Midnight Wolf.
And Tech Jeeper.
Tech Jeeper. Jeepers.
Tech Jeeper Creeper.
Tech Jeepers.
Team Junkyard Dog.
No. Pass. We're going to skip over that one.
You can't do that. They can win too. Anybody can win.
They already won. They already won. They already won when they fought me.
Sponsorship. Yeah. When they beat you. See, you also have T-Dog.
Oh, he don't count. Team Junkyard.
And I think that is all of them. Oh, nope. And Traxman 25.
Oops.
Hello, Traxman.
I almost put Team Junkyard Dog and T-Dog in the same thing. Too similar. Come up with something unique, Travis. Okay, who else?
Traxman's TRAXMAN 25.
Okay, let's get that in there. Traxman.
Yep.
All right. And this is fun. All right. Anybody else?
The last one's going to be Additive Adam.
Additive
Atom.
Adam.
ATOM.
Say that 5 times fast.
Formerly known as Gamer Geek. Major Gamer Geek, actually, is what it was.
Additive Atom. All right. That looks like all of them for now.
Yep.
All right, I got him in there.
Which I do need to get going soon, so we can do that drawing whenever you want. Pretty much with the winner, whoever does win, just reach out to me at joel.finn@polymaker.com or join us in Discord and message me on Discord. That's discord.polymaker.com. So you do have to reach out to me if you win. Let me know, hey, I'm so-and-so. Usually a screenshot just to verify that's your YouTube username. And then, email it to me or message me, and then I will get that all taken care of. But we can do one giveaway. We'll do one giveaway for everybody here, awesome. And we'll see who wins. And I'm gonna go eat after this, and then I'm gonna come down here. I'm gonna hunt a fly down because he's irritating the heck out of me. Which has been seeing like zoom back and forth. Like I have 2 key lights, so he's like going from one, and then he goes zoom, and he goes over there, and then he goes, it's like, make up your mind, stay there,
stay in your lane. Bug off. All right, so
Joel's like talking to an important select. Don't overplay that Korea Icebox. I appreciate it, but let's not overplay it.
So for anybody just tuning in, welcome. Thank you for tuning in. Subscribe to the Jupiter Robotics and Polymaker YouTube channels. We are currently doing a Polymaker filament giveaway, which was not planned ahead of time. We just decided to do this live. And man, we got a lot of people entering. I was going to count, but that's too many. I'm not going to bother.
Yeah. And then real quick, Team Junkyard Dog, depending on the stream. So meet the Polymaker on Thursday. I don't really talk to the audience. I focus more on the content of the show. Every now and then I address the audience. Tuesday, lately, I've been finally putting up to multi-stream chat. So I do try to talk to both chats. Because Tuesday is more community involvement where I talk to everybody. But I'm still working on getting the the giveaways to work for those on YouTube. But as for talking to you, comments and everything, seems like the comments come from the comments are always YouTube and Twitch, mostly Twitch. But I have now when I run the comments, I run them dual, so I see Twitch and YouTube. So if I see there, I'll make sure to call you out.
Good stuff. Yeah, I know I tuned into one of the streams last week, and like at least half of my comments had an answer to it.
It's sometimes hard as it scrolls by pretty quick, but
yeah, especially if you're doing it on like multiple platforms.
Oh yeah, one I used to do where it's just the Twitch chat, because every time I did multi-stream, I was having issues. But now I try to remember to click on that. That way I get everybody's, so I can see both comments.
Yeah, definitely.
Appreciate it. A lot of people have seemed to really love that stuff, so I know a lot of people are waiting for it to come back in stock soon.
Soon. He said 2 to 3 weeks. I'm kidding.
Ideally, it's on its way. It's actually probably almost here, but it's been on a ship. So as long as that ship makes it to coast and it unloads properly, we'll be good.
Yeah. So again, to everybody tuning in, we just decided moments ago to do a filament giveaway. So
Now,
if you want to enter,
broke it, it's Jonathan's fault. We'll put it all on you.
If you accidentally buy the wrong kind of filament, thinking you got something else, you know who to send it to.
Yeah.
Don't even bother. Don't even bother with return to sender.
Yeah, return to John.
Return to Jupiter.
There you go.
All right. So yeah, we're gonna let's see. I won't keep you much longer. Yeah, I won't keep you too much longer. I'm gonna do another minute or two. Let people enter. If you've already commented, I am awesome. Only comment that one time. Don't comment that again. Because that was.
I've been watching it. Yeah, I think everybody that's commented it. Glitchy is a new one.
I got Glitchy in there already. Glitchy
and Maker Viking.
Yep, Maker Viking.
If you are aiming, let's see, it was Maker Viking, go away.
All right, so we got a space junk question here. Let's see. Yeah, I did not see when you asked this one earlier, so I'll be glad I saw this now. So space junk's wheel guards. I guess I can read it on camera one more time. So the wheel guards here, I bought a sheet of 1 millimeter thick UHMW, and you don't really need to buy a big sheet. You can buy a small sheet of 1 millimeter thick UHMW on like eBay. That's where I got it. I think it was eBay. And I cut it, like you can cut it with an X-Acto knife or a jigsaw. I find it easier to cut it with a knife. But you cut it like, I do 1 inch wide, 6 inches long, and that's plenty. And then I drill the holes. I get a drill, and I drill holes so that I can easily put a 440 size screw in, and so I can screw it into the frame. There's already holes drilled in the sides of the frame, and so I just put a nut on the other side so it'll stay. So yeah, it is UHMW, and we got more entries coming in. Curio Junkie.
Oh, the Polymaker crew. These are the fun people that are usually hanging out in chat and tolerating me while also having fun, ideally.
I am Batman. I think there's a typo on that one. I'm Batman.
And I'm gonna have to stick up for him. I've met him in person recently at Midwest Rep Festival, and not once did I see him and Batman in the same place at the same time. I didn't see Batman at all, but
all right. So let's go for another. I'm going to start a timer. I got my phone off to the side. Let's do a timer for. Should we do 1 more minute for entries?
There you go. Yep.
All right. So we're going to be wrapping the stream up in just a moment. Everybody who has not already entered, go ahead and comment, I am awesome. If you want to enter the Polymaker filament giveaway, you have exactly 1 more minute. The timer starts now. Pre-filament. Hey, wait a minute. Does the... I had that stuck in my head earlier. So I got a question for you, Joel. Does the stream host get a free spool as well?
That would be going against the terms of service.
I mean, we never agreed to terms and conditions, so let me just throw my name in the little giveaway real quick.
Yeah, you're not exempt. Yeah, you're not a Polymaker employee. Now,
no, I wouldn't do that.
Just know that you'll be ripped apart when it stops just on your name, like rigged insider. Yeah, John, insider trading.
I promise everybody, this is not a rigged giveaway. You have about 10 more seconds to enter. I think everybody who's going to enter has already entered. And to everybody who tunes into Polymaker streams and has tuned in here, thank you for the support. And if you want to know more about combat robotics, make sure to subscribe to Jupiter Robotics YouTube channel. We've got some cool fights. We've got some embarrassing fights. We got a little bit of everything fights.
I would say the good,
All
bad,
right.
the ugly.
Yep, the bad, the good, the ugly, the little Rocketeer, and the everything in between.
There you go.
All right, so time's up. We have all of the entries and no new entries.
Get it on screen though.
Let's do it.
How much of a pro?
Let's do it. Share screen. Let's do the wheel. Go ahead and share it. Okay, so
It'll allow you like tab. It'll allow you a specific tab to share.
why won't it let me? There it goes. Hello.
Oh, there we go.
All right. So if you entered and you do not see your name on there, go ahead and say something now so I can edit. Or if there's a typo, say something to deal with it.
Yeah, we know who you are.
Yeah. All right, so I think everybody's good to go.
And look at that, even customized with the Polymaker logo in the center.
Oh yeah, I had to throw in that little special touch there.
I'll take it.
All right, so if you're ever on another stream here with me and you want to do a filament giveaway, that would be easy to do.
Yep.
We now know that's
I don't know if the giveaway wheel on StreamYard works really well, but I just don't know. I don't know if it's for like paid subscription or how it's tiered,
right.
But this definitely works.
I'm cheap. I'm not going to pay for premium or anything.
Yeah,
with
no,
StreamYard.
you don't stream enough. Yeah, I want to make sense.
Yeah, this spinning wheel that you see on the screen here is actually on a different website, and I just happen to be streaming it on StreamYard so everybody can see it on screen.
There we go. I think yeah, looks like no more entries. If you want to do the drawing, and again,
all
reach
right,
out to me, joel.finn@polymaker.com or discord.polymaker.com. I'm Polymaker Joel.
All right, so if you have a complaint like I didn't want to win, I was just playing around, yeah, you can send it to me.
There you go.
All right. Yeah. All right, so we're going to spin this in 3, 2, 1.
Congratulations to somebody. Who is that somebody? That somebody is Tracksman25.
All right.
I think he knows how to reach out to me. I think he's messaged me once or twice in the past, so I will be sure that he gets himself a free spool of filament. So congratulations, right. But yeah, no, like I said, I honestly really do appreciate you having me on the stream, and I'll keep watching your streams on maybe on one of the hangouts. If I'm not too busy, I'll kind of hop in, maybe pop in and out here and there, make a little cameo, and maybe throw some filament, around here and there. You never know what I'm going to do. So
yeah, definitely.
I appreciate it.
I definitely appreciate you taking the time to hop on here with me and do this. This was definitely a very fun stream. And of course, congratulations to Tracksman25, if I pronounced that correctly. If not, sue me. I don't know.
Tracksman, yeah. You'll get a letter from his lawyer. Don't worry. He's a really mean guy, Tracksman. He's
yeah,
good guy. But yeah, but I'm gonna go and get myself something to eat. Not that I need it, but yeah, get something to eat. But definitely appreciate it.
Definitely a huge thank you to everybody who tuned in. Really huge thank you to Joel. I appreciate the time.
Yep.
It was a lot of fun. And
glad to get you started. Now just consistency. Now just keep it rolling, whether it be group hangouts and chats or one-on-ones.
Yeah.
Consistency is key. That's all I can tell you. Other than that, I'm not a pro myself. I just know getting a consistent thing going and sticking to it. Yeah, you'll be able to pull in awesome guests, more cool people into the chat. So
definitely. And we should be doing some group chats probably, I would say, next month on here. So yeah, subscribe to the Jupiter Robotics channel, hit the notification bell, and you will know when we do that.
There you go.
Or the next time we have some Polymaker giveaways going. That was a lot of fun.
Never know when they're going to show up.
Yeah. That was a lot of fun. Definitely unexpected giveaway. That was a lot of fun.
That's what we live for, is the unexpected.
Yeah, expect the unexpected.
There you go.
All right. So we're going to go ahead and wrap this up. So thank you for tuning in, everybody, and we'll see you next time.
Have a good one. See you later.
See ya.